Hi, lovely people, and welcome to a new type of video. I honestly don't normally do voiceovers, but I felt like for this one, you guys kind of need to hear what was going on, and it kind of gets the point across a bit more. And so I've had comments here and there, really just talking about the amount of time it's taken for Snowdin and just what's going on. Why is it taking so long? Especially when I first came out with it, a lot of people were like, oh, Snowdin now. And not only that, but like also trying to force me to just re-upload everything via Bedrock, something I've been working towards, but it's a process. And really, I'm going to just chat a little bit about it here and about where my brain is and some of the process and all of that. And I built the ruins in about a month back in 2021. If you guys didn't know, please check it up in the iCard. It'll be linked down below, And pretty much as soon as I released that map, I started working on Snowdin, like spring 2022, about a year ago. And I knew the moment I started it, I wanted to be larger and darker and more immersive, hence why I ended up making it the way I obviously have. And overall, I abandoned the project last July because at the time I was not sure I liked how it was coming out, and I felt like the size was just way too big for my self imposed skill level. And even here, I'm not gonna lie, you can see I'm putting in a lot of detail and a lot of time. Like this wall alone took me over an hour and a half just to place all the blocks and then go about shaping little chunks out and making it really stand out and look the way I wanted it to. So it took me a long time to do that. And I know for World Edit, especially, a lot of people would be like, oh my gosh, just copy and paste. But I just didn't want to do that. And even now, I'm still not doing it. This is mainly because I know I want my worlds to look really hand touched and have that more personalized and unique feel in every single space you're in, no matter how deep it feels to other people. I know for me, I really want it to feel more immersive than the other part, especially. Like, I really wanted it to feel huge and that you're underground and that you've escaped, quote, quote, escaped the ruins and you're in this situation that it's like, oh man, the ruins was nothing. Because I know the first time I played the game, I definitely felt like the ruins were like such a big deal until you move on to the next parts of the map. And overall, I think it's kind of essential to know what vibe you wanted. And for me, I wanted larger, darker, and immersive. And I think I accomplished it so far, but only time can tell. Flipping around the focus, we have the other side of this wall in this room. And in this section, this is actually what I've worked on more recently. Another reason I'm making this video is I kind of was like, you know what? I think after about almost a year, I'm ready to take on Snowdin and kind of get this project done and under my belt. And on this side, it's a little bit different because I built this almost a full year after building the first side. And even my techniques, like placing blocks, placing everything, is very different because I didn't do it the same way. I was a lot more orderly back then, where I feel like now I'm more chaotic. Another reason I never make videos of myself building is I feel like I'm a little too chaotic for it. However, this is a passion project of mine, and because I actually want to show people the process, I was like, you know what? I am going to record myself doing this as of last week during the most stressful part of the semester, finals. I don't know if anybody here has been watching me since when I made the first video and when I was posting a lot of TikToks about it, but I did explain during one of my first ever TikToks ever announcing this project. I was like, not me starting a new build, like all of the ruins a week before I start my senior semester, or my junior semester of college at uni. And I was like, Jesus, this is like exactly what I need to do right now, of course. But for me, and at least my build style and my inspiration always comes when I'm like least expecting it. And as you can see, I'm placing a lot of blocks down in a very organic way. That is my more current build style. It's very organic after I finished All Phase Cove. If y'all don't know what that is, please check it out. I'll definitely link it and put it in the iCards as well. And it is truly a beautiful project because I really took the time to learn how to build with it. And it is a very overgrown fairy themed world, and it is available for download as well as the first part of Project U. And I just think Compared to before, I'm a lot more confident in my build style as well, and it really does show with how organic things feel. As you can see in this part, I really did decide to focus on showing you guys more of the finer details in this build. Another reason I did that was because I don't know if people realize just how highly detailed all of my builds are. And specifically in this area, I was like, here, let me take a little close up and show you guys that I'm not only just redoing the whole path, but I am having to put concrete powder, resulting in me having to put a block underneath. And not only that, I'm also like customizing all of the different areas using different shades of gray, different shades of blue, and bringing that back. I know a lot of people didn't like that I didn't use purpur in the first part. That's totally fine. It was purely a preference because even though I'm calling these Undertale themed builds, that is exactly what it is. It is Undertale themed. It is not supposed to be an exact copy of Undertale. It's going to have all the elements that are like essential to like the actual gameplay. Yes, like I have the ruins where I have Toriel's house and a bunch of other items confirmed. Yes, but I do not have to have all of the same exact stylistic points. And as you can see, as I'm backing out, literally, I'm about to show you all the thing that really killed my morale the first time around. Another reason I took a break, and it was placing snow. This sequence of placing snow, I kid you not, took over 2 hours because I'm not placing just a singular piece of snow. I am placing different levels of snow. Like one spot might have like 7 layers of snow, while the other might have like 2, if not like 1. And so this part honestly took me one of the longest, and this whole video ended up taking me almost 10.5 hours to record, with a lot of it being done on screen, but a good chunk of it also being done off screen just to save me on time, and was done within the last couple of months as well. Back to what I was saying, however, I really think when you look at this project, it's not supposed to be an exact copy. That's another reason I'm doing it with a textured wall and not just black concrete. I wanted people to feel like they were in this area and feel like they're in the underground, not necessarily exactly like the game. So instead of doing purpur in the last build, I used the stone brick and I used other layers of brick, like different colors, to really give that immersive brick feel, especially because they use purple, I don't know if you guys know this, in video games to reflect darker colors like blacks and stuff. So I bet the ruins isn't even technically purple. Spicy take. So for Snowdin, I decided to use this lovely gray blue palette that I came up with. This is one of the first things I did, and here's a picture of even me like when I first started doing it. And I really wanted people to be able to come into the build and be like, I can tell this is Snowdin, but it's such a different perspective of Snowdin. It's such a different take of Snowdin. So that's why I used the warped grass and the cyan colored concrete and all those different elements with the andesite and the grays to really like make a person, you know, feel immersed in the project. So in this part, you can really see I'm going around and doing the different lighting levels. This is because I originally made the first part with only one set of shaders to be comparable to it. And a person I was associated with before used a different one. And I was like, you're so right. That is one of the most popular shaders. Let me make it comparable and usable and a beautiful experience for those as well. And with that being said, like, I know it's not ever going to be perfect, especially because my preference is silver shaders, but it definitely looks really, really nice in both. So I use a lot of diffuse lighting, and I don't even use the light blocks really, because you're not really supposed to see the walls the same way in this side of the build. You're really looking at the details, and you're really looking at the fine-tunedness, and you want it to feel mysterious and warm, and honestly, like you've stepped into the unknown. A big part of this is really just me taking the time to relearn how to build also. Because I've been building in such bright, vibrant colors, I'm not gonna lie, this build took me some time. Project U is one of my favorite things. Another reason I don't call it Project Undertale is because even though I'm building Undertale, I'm not building it based exactly, and I feel like Project U is a better word for it because everybody knows it's Undertale. It's quite obviously Undertale. It's just not quite the Undertale, it's my Undertale. So it's a very fun project to work on. And honestly, I love making it, and I forgot how much I loved making it. But this part was extremely fun, especially over here where the snowman's gonna be. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, I worked so hard on redstone. That's something that I promised in the last project. I was like, oh, I didn't really do too many with things with the signs and redstone. I really made it a super simple, like beginning to end, more aesthetic focused part of the project. But I made sure that redstone was popping. Now, this is the hardest part. And honestly, guys, please don't judge me for my building skills. It is the way I build, and I drove myself crazy doing a lot of the more fine details. However, this is the part where I layered a couple of black concrete to make it kind of have a depth when you're inside the build. This is a very easy way to like create a more concaved look also, because you can't really define where one black concrete block starts and another black concrete block ends. So instead of making it like, black wool or another black block, I did concrete so it would be smooth. And when you're in the actual build, it just looks like the ceiling never ends. And that is something that I feel like in the original game, it gave off that impression that everybody in the underground, like all the monsters that are trapped, are very much like, we don't even remember what the outside looks like because all we see is like we're in a cave. And I really wanted to do that feeling throughout my build as well. So here you could just see I'm layering up the black concrete, and I layer, I think, 4 tall, and then I start going across. And honestly, it gave my hands cramps because when I did this, it was the last couple of days, and I literally spent the whole morning coding and finishing a website just to then come on and be clicking and placing over 1,000 blocks within about 2 hours. I really, really enjoy this project, but sometimes even myself, I'm like, wow, that's a lot. With this project, though, I'm also working on getting ready to start another project. As I said earlier, Project U was my baby, and I did another project while kind of losing inspiration. I was like, no, I'm going to focus on something else, and I'll phase Cove. Instead of continuing that build, even though I have the opportunity to with the new updates and the new objects, I have decided to kind of shift my focus into doing what you guys want from me. And one of my biggest requests is either a tutorial or a speed build of my Barbie castle. I know people love it, and even now with the Barbie movie coming up to be in the theaters in the next couple months, I am so excited to redo this build because I know people would love to not only download it, but also like maybe make their own version of it. And that is something I'm working on setting up and really finding a good seed for it because I want it to be beautiful. However, instead of making it in 1.17, because that's what the last update I did it in, I'm going to be making it in 1.20. I'm so excited for this new update, especially because I'm a big fan of pink, and the cherry blossoms make me really excited to do it. So please keep an eye out for that project. It is one of my favorite things I think I've ever thought up. I have a couple sketches. I will be gatekeeping until we get a bit closer. And yeah, cannot wait for that project. And I can't wait to name it too, because honestly, it's just called Untitled 1.20 for right now. But I know it's coming along and it's going to be amazing to see the process. Now, with that being said, here I'm just really showing you guys that I build squares and then I just fill them in. That's how I do almost every single room. And if you guys liked this video, I also have one without my commentary uploaded. These are going live at the exact same time. I would love if you guys check that one out. It has very similar music, very similar vibes, just not as much talking, and is more for just the sitting and listening process. And if you really like this side of the process, I really hope you would stick around, maybe like this video, tell me what you think below, subscribe if you want to see more. And I actually got started off screen in a different video that I will be also coming out with very soon, the next couple rooms. I just don't know how much I will be recording of those, especially because right now I have a little bit more time than I normally would in between semesters. And I really wanted to get that room done. And like I said earlier, this is a passion project. I'm really just trying to get it out the way this year. But if it takes a little bit longer, I know people are willing to wait. And yeah, if you guys really like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and I hope you like the final reveal.